My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Hello and welcome to 400 Thunder. On today's show, we've got Pro Alcohol, all the action from the Alterds, the Funny Cars and the Dragsters. The championship is close and let's take a look at the points as they come into this event, the 51st running of the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. Steve Reed comes into this event on 428 points with a commanding lead over Russell Mills, although the championship is not yet mathematically over. Robert Ambrosi having a career best year in third with Wayne Price and the reigning champion Gary Phillips rounding out the top five. Well, all eyes will be on Steve Reed today to see if he can claim his first championship in 25 years. It's going to be a tough ask, but we'll see if he can do it right after this.
Willowbank Raceway here at Ipswich in Queensland is packed to the rafters with fans, and we have Pro Alcohol coming up very shortly. Qualifying session number 3. What's Pro Alcohol all about? Well, we're talking about supercharged methyl alcohol burning engines, and they can be in funny cars, in the long skinny dragsters, in our Altered tea buckets. It's all evened up with the regulations and fantastic heads up, no handicap racing of the professional category. Mark Allen, one of our favourite categories.
That it is, and it's one of the largest fields we've seen all year in the 400 Thunder Series for the Pro Alcohol class. First up on track in qualifying session number 1, we've seen Luke Marsden take on Darren Fry. Marsden streaking away in that funny car, ran a great 5.65 up against Darren Fry's 5.88, so it's a good foundation first pass for that team.
Well, the big thing in qualifying was we had 13 odd cars entered, but only 8 were going to make it into elimination racing on Sunday. Gary Phillips, of course, many-time Australian champion. We expected him to lay a quick one down first, but it was Justin Walsh in the tea bucket that ran a 5.73 ahead of Gary Phillips's 5.81.
Wayne Price taking on Robert Ambrosi next pairing out. See both funny cars get out very strong here. Ambrosi goes across the finish line first. He ran a great 5.85. Wayne Price though went 5.77.
Yeah, Price hung around on the lights a fair bit. You won't be able to afford to do that in elimination racing, that's for sure. Stephen Reed, our championship leader, took on the number 2 in the series, Russell Mills, in the first qualifying session. Reed launched hard in the funny car, Mills in the dragster trying to go with him, but Reed a strong 5.57 to Mills's 5.62. They were the early class.
Yeah, they were on top of the points for a reason. They really showed here in qualifying session number 1. Next up, Greg Clayton in another Altered taking on Chris Hargrave in the funny car.
Have a look at this Altered. Straight on down the middle. Runs a 5.73 ahead of Hargrave's 6.15.
One of my favourite cars in Pro Alcohol, John Sting in the Dragster. One of the quickest dragsters in Australia, taking on John Canuli. Canuli, he is a record holder in funny car as well. Both these guys are expecting big things from Sting. He rolls through for a 5.95. John Canuli with a 6.70. Not really what we expect from those teams.
No, Canuli had some problems and really put himself under the gun going into the second session. Well, Chris Hargraves came back to take a solo to start off Q2. Leaves in the funny car with a sort of lumbering launch and then clicked it off way early. Still got some problems. An 8.84 wasn't going to help him get into the field for Sunday.
Robert Ambrosi out again up against John Canuli. Canuli didn't get down the track in that first session. He was looking to improve. Big move from Canuli. Ambrosi, he streaks on through for a 5.68. One of the quickest passes we've seen from that team this season.
But we saw a big backfire from Canuli right of screen. There it is. Even the windscreen is split. Well, we're just about ready to go into Q3, and I don't see John Canuli in the staging lane, so I'm not sure whether that team is going to make it. Meanwhile, still back in Q2, Marsden and Phillips were the next pair out.
Yeah, Marsden ran a really good first pass with a 5.60. Won't get down the track this time. Gary Phillips, engine went silent probably about 1,000 foot there. He rolled on through for a 5.60 at only 229 mile an hour.
Yeah, very quick in the early part. What about Stephen Reed now on a solo? Ran a very strong 5.57 in the first round. Came out in the second, ran a 5.50 just to show that he means business. He is after that championship.
Well, that officially puts him into number 1 at this point of qualifying session number 2. Next up, we've got the Altered and the Dragster. John Sting in the Dragster gets out strong. This Dragster is on a really good march here. He went through for a 5.44. That put him number 1. One of the quickest passes we've seen in a Dragster in Australia as well.
Well, final pairing of Q2, Russell Mills and Darren Fry in the NASA Steel Fabrications funny car, trying to get into that field. Mills picking the front wheels up at half track, ran it through for a 5.57, and Darren Fry back with a 5.67. Here we go now. Final qualifying session. This is do or die for the guys to try and make it into that 8-car field. This is Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol at the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. This final qualifying session will see Chris Hargrave take a bye to open it up.
Yeah, Hargrave has not got down the track yet this weekend. I know this car can run in that 550 zone. He needs a 550 pass to get in this field, and it looked like an early pedal there in that funny car. He goes through. He runs a 5.77 at 411 kilometres per hour.
Not quite enough to make it into the field. 5.77, and you picked it, Mark. He's had to get on and off the throttle momentarily there. That's cost him a spot on race day.
It has. I would have killed at least a 1/10 of a second ET-wise easily there for the team as we see that replay. Not a happy team. They'll come back out next season. It is a quick car. I'm sure they will get it sorted. Next pairing up,
Wayne Price and Luke Marsden, another pair of funny cars. Well, it's Price that's trying to fight his way in at the moment. He hasn't had a happy outing here this weekend.
Marsden's been pretty, he had a good first pass. The second pass wasn't that pretty, but he laid down a 5.65, which is a good baseline for the team. So they can improve here in qualifying session number 3. They are in the field. They probably want to try and get in that top half of the field going to race day with lane choice.
Wayne Price currently sits on a 5.777 on the outside of the field. He's going to have to jump into the 60s to grab a spot in that 8 cars. Luke Marsden, well, he's there at the moment.
Both cars moving forward. You need to be in that 560, 550 zone. We've even seen a 540 from the Dragster. 544 currently number 1 qualifier. That is the time to beat.
I think Luke Marsden has been number 9 the last couple of years. So
That's it. He still hasn't made it to race day here at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. If they make it to race day, they'll be over the moon.
well, 565 has him in the field at the moment. What's he got here? Can Price come into the field? Marsden looking strong. Price sliding back. It will be Marsden. 559 steps up further. And Wayne Price is 608. Well, not going to go into the 8, but Luke Marsden, the privateer, really looking strong, Mark.
That was a great pass with Luke Marsden there. 5:59. That was his quickest pass so far of the weekend. That puts him into the field. And Luke Marsden with Jared down the bottom end.
Luke Marsden 5:59 up into the top half of the field. It's getting tough.
Mate, it's tough, all right. We're just happy to pop into the 50s here for this. We struggled a bit that last run, smoked the tyres. We're just scratching our heads back there, but it looks like we made the right move now, and that made it through there pretty easy. So hopefully it holds. I'm pretty sure there's only a few cars left, so hopefully we'll stay in the field.
Well, he is in the field at the moment, as is this man, our championship leader, Stephen Reid for All-Star Batteries in the funny car. He is up beside Gary Phillips in the far lane. Now, Phillips had a problem in the first round, didn't run all that quick, jumped into the field in the second. We've been waiting for him to do something. He normally does.
He does, and I wouldn't be surprised if that 5:44 can get knocked down here, because Gary Phillips and that team over there, they are easily one of the quickest teams in pro alcohol. We know they can go quicker than 5:44.
Yeah, it is John Sting on top of the heap in Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol qualifying at the moment with that 5:44. He's still to run, but can Gary Phillips take it off him here? He's got the number 1 on the side of his car for a very good reason. Was the champion last season. Will he hand that number 1 over to the man beside him, Stephen Reid? Or will Russell Mills be the man to come through from behind? Plenty left to go in pro alcohol. Final qualifying session. Reid comes out red.
Oh, Phillips is streaking away. 5:46. He goes to number 2. Rusty with Shane, Gary's son, on the start line.
I'd almost guarantee that was a side-by-side 40, but unfortunately for Steve Reid, our championship leader, not to be this time around. Shane Phillips, 5:46. Got to be happy with that.
That's all right. It's not bad. I was hoping for a bit more. He shut it off a little early, but that's okay. At least got something A to B. It didn't shake. It was smooth. So got something to play with for tomorrow. So hopefully we can improve a little bit for all our sponsors. Alpine Fresh Refrigerated Transport, Lumen LED Lighting, Speedweek.
Well, these guys keep getting data on the racetrack, and that's only meaning that you're going to get quicker and quicker as the weekend goes on.
Gary Phillips, that was better, 5:46.
Yeah, it should have been better because the air is absolutely fantastic right now. While the weather's perfect, it was one of those deals. It's still rattled, but hey, it's, distraction. I don't know what happened to Steve. I think he rolled the beams or something, but it was, what was that? I didn't think it was that late. But no, for Alpine Fresh, Lumen Lighting, everyone else that helps us. Speed Flow, absolutely fantastic to be back. Qualify both cars at a stellar field like this. We're proud little babies.
Well, he couldn't quite catch this man in qualifying. John Sting in the Dragster is lined up beside Rob Ambrosi, the Victorian in the funny car. But Sting currently our number 1 in Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol with that earlier 5:44. Can he repeat that? Can he go quicker?
Well, he's looking to reset the national record as well for Pro Alcohol Dragster. Is it a surprise that we see a Dragster number 1? And how long has it been since we've seen a Dragster on top of qualifying? He's only got a couple more passes to go after this pass, but man, to see a Dragster on top.
And we don't see John out too often. Well, there's Rob Ambrosi inside the funny car at the office, all ready to do the business. Ambrosi, he is currently sitting in the field.
And they've really stepped up this second half of the season, this team in this funny car. Like, they had a bit of dramas at the start of the year with some carnage with the engines and that, but they've really come together the last couple of events.
He is in number 7. Can he move higher than that? What about John Sting? Will we see a record? He needs another 540.
The Dragster streaking away. He goes 5:48. This Dragster is quick. It is fast. Robin Brosey goes 5:75, but John Sting, he still stays number 1 at the moment. Resets the record. How about that? Look at the replay, Rob.
Very quick off the line and very smooth. That's what it's about. Smooth, not quite down the middle, got over to the centre line a little, but still came up with the goods. And Rob Ambrosio, not quite as quick as his earlier qualifying pass, but he's in the field. He's number 7, and I don't think can be bumped out.
Well, he went down the track 3 times, 3 passes, 3 5-second passes. So Ambrosio, consistent, one to watch on race day. All right, our number 8 qualifier at the moment, Justin Walsh on screen in that Altered. So what do we got? We've got Altered, we've got Dragsters, we've got Funny Cars, and we've got the Funster in the field.
That's the case, and these are the last 2 in the lanes. So we won't see John Canuli back. These are both in the field. The field is set. It's just a matter of what order now. Darren Fry, he's in. Justin Walsh is on the bump spot. He'll be trying to move up the ladder because if he stays there, he's got to face our number 1 qualifier, John Sting, in the first round. Nobody would want to do that with the form that Sting is in.
Not at all. 2 540 passes. That's probably the aim for this team. Get in maybe into the 560s. Get off that bump spot. Try and improve. Get some more data. Darren Fry. These guys will be looking trying to get that top half of the field as well.
Late afternoon here, Saturday at the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals at Willowbank Raceway. As Gary Phillips said, the conditions are near perfect and a huge crowd packed into the stands for this Pro Alcohol qualifying session.
The final pass, the home track for both drivers. Both cars get out pretty strong here. Darren Fry will go across the finish line first. He goes 5.57, 415 kilometres per hour. Justin Walsh goes 5.70. He does improve by a couple of hundredths, but he will stay on that bump spot.
Have a look at this. Both cars, they are just so quick off the start line now. And Darren Fry has to be happy with this. He stepped up big time. Moved into the number 4 spot. He's down with Gilla McDonald.
Darren's asking me what to run 5.57. You've moved up to number 4.
Yes, look, I can't thank the crew. They worked their butts off all weekend this week. We had a couple of dramas plague us. My wife, Brian, and Jamie, you guys are tuning this thing like there's no tomorrow. So let's see if we can bolster off this and actually make it run some 40s.
Big news, you're running Russell Mills in the first round.
Well, that's a real tough one because that guy's a really nice guy, and, you know, the championship's up for grabs. So at the end of the day, if we can take it out, sorry, Russ, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Well, good luck.
Thanks, mate.
In Pro Alcohol, the pressure in qualifying has all been about getting into that 8, and you could see the relief on Darren Fry's face right there. He made it. Heads over to shake hands with Justin Walsh. They're both in the field. Let's have a look at qualifying. It is John Sting on top with a 5.44, just ahead of Gary Phillips's 5.46. Third is Stephen Reed with a 5.50. Darren Fry, 5.57.2 ahead of Russell Mills's 5.57.9. Then it's Luke Marsden, Rob Ambrosio and Justin Walsh to round out that strong Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol field. That's the way they're going to face the start tomorrow. We're going to have all of that action for you very, very soon. Welcome back to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. It's Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol. We're getting ready now for round 1 of eliminations. It's going to get serious from here. The championship's on the line.
Yeah, the championship battle really heats up here. Stephen Reed, currently our number 1 in the championship. He has got a slender lead over Russell Mills. Earlier, Rusty caught up with Stephen Reed and Gary Phillips in the pits.
Well, our championship leader in Pro Alcohol is Steve Reid. And Steve, you were looking good up until the second and third qualifiers there. Just got knocked down to number 3 in the qualifying list.
Yeah, we got knocked down to number 3. All 3 runs were really good. The final one, we rolled the beams, but looking at the data, it would have been faster run. It would have been somewhere between a 45 and a 48. So we're pretty happy with that. So at least we're reasonably confident we've got a set up for today.
The important thing for you was making the field this weekend with the calibre of cars that are here and the championship on the line. The first step is qualifying for this field.
Yeah, with the quality cars that we had here this weekend, I mean, just qualifying is a huge achievement. So, so we're in there. We get to fight today.
Do you dare dream about that first championship in 25 years? You've got one finger on it at the moment, mate. If things fall your way today, you could have it by probably the semi-finals.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, you know, you try not to count points. You try not to look at those sorts of things in different scenarios and stuff. But everybody keeps reminding us of it. So, yeah, just fingers crossed. And I think if we can get past first round, which Luke Marsden is going to be extremely tough. He's got a good running, consistent car. It's going to be extremely tough. But fingers crossed, if we can get past first round, well, then we wrap it up. So.
Well, one of the great faces that's here at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals is Gary Phillips. And Gary qualified with both cars this weekend. That is a huge achievement in these very, very tough Pro Alcohol and Pro Slammer fields.
Oh, it is. I mean, anyone that's in the field, you know, should be proud of themselves, and we're extremely proud. I mean, it is a tough knock.
The Winternationals is a different kind of event, isn't it? The vibe, the atmosphere, and I guess the prestige that's associated with it, it makes race day super, super pressure-packed, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's, you know, it's the best event on the calendar. It's just everyone knows it's on every year. They take their holidays at that time. The crowds are great. The weather's pretty good today. Yeah, I mean, and it's our home track, and, you know, we've got some help from Alpine Fresh refrigerated transport and Lumen lighting. So for this race, so yeah, it's and both managers are here today, so it's fantastic.
So what's the plan for race day today? Do you go out there and go conservative, or do you throw everything at it and hope it sticks?
There is no thing as conservative on race day at the Winternationals, mate. You better go out there with your A game. You ain't got your A game, you ain't got nothing.
This is the way they're going to line up for round 1. Darren Fry to take on Russell Mills. John Sting up against Justin Walsh. Stephen Reid has to beat Luke Marsden to wrap up the championship. And Gary Phillips to take on Rob Ambrosi.
First pairing up, we've got the Altered of Justin Walsh to take on the Dragster of John Sting. You know what? It doesn't matter where you qualified here today, because anything can happen in Pro Alcohol. There's nothing separating the teams. Only 0.15 of a second across the field. It's a big race here. New national record holder in John Sting in that Dragster as well.
The consistency of this man, John Sting, in the Dragster has to give him a huge advantage here. You know, if you're a betting man, all money on the Dragster. No disrespect to Justin Walsh. But the Altered, it's a harder deal. He's got to make up a performance disadvantage with his car right on where the things sit after qualifying. But it's drag racing. There's 400 metres of racetrack. There's a few thousand horsepower of methyl alcohol supercharged engine in each of those cars. There are thousands of people packed in here at Willowbank Raceway. They're here because they know anything can happen in 400 Thunder drag racing, and that's what we've got on the line.
Yeah, John Sting had lane choice. He's taken that lane on screen there, closest to the grandstand. He's just waiting to move forward into stage. Number 1 qualifier taking on number 8, round 1 for Pro Alcohol.
Well, will we see the national record dip even further? Sting's been looking extremely strong. Revs right up for the launch.
Oh, they're side by side. It looks like the Dragsters in front. He's lost power. The Altered comes back around and gets the upset win. Goes 5.88 over a 5.98 from John Sting. Massive win there for Justin Walsh. He goes through to the semi-finals. Have a look at the replay, Rob.
That's a come-from-behind win. John Sting got well out in front by half-track. Supercharger belt was shredding. We can see the pieces coming all over the onboard camera. Justin Walsh won't believe his luck. He had a really nice, strong pass. Don't discount that.
Yeah, it's going to be a weekend of what-ifs there for John Sting out in round 1. Justin Walsh with the win. His crew chief on the start line with Rusty.
Down here with Fred Westhoff from Justin Walsh's crew. Everyone said if you can make it into this field, anything can happen on race day, and you guys just took out the number 1 qualifier.
Yeah, Rusty, look, that's the Winternationals. We come out here and do what we can with what we've got. The car's totally different to everything else that everyone else runs out here. And, look, it wasn't fast, it wasn't pretty, but, we got the win, go to the next round, life's great.
And Alterds forever, mate. The Alterds forever. There's a lot of fans out there.
Yeah, look, it's been a long time coming, We same old story. We had the pipe dream to build this thing and do what we can, try and do what we can do. And, I guess that's the proof in the pudding right there.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to Gerald at the other end of the racetrack because that was one hell of a race for Justin Walsh.
Justin Walsh, we saw it in Pro Slammer with the number 8 qualifier, knocking out number 1. We've just seen it in Pro Alcohol as well. Well done.
Mate, look, at the end of the day, anyone that gets any 8-car field, anything can happen. With 8 cars, they're all on song. I don't know what I ran, but hey, it looks like we got the win light, so I'm happy. Can't thank my crew enough. Gary Phillips, Shane Phillips in the corner for us. Mate, we're having a good day.
585, you're going through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, no worries. We'll drive it a bit better in the next one and see if we can hop her up, eh?
Back up to you, Huss.
Well, Justin Walsh is through to round 2. No disrespect, I didn't see that coming. I thought John Sting would have him covered. So from here on, all bets are off.
That's what can happen in Pro Alcohol. That was a great first pass. What can the second pairing out do? What can it bring us? We've got Funny Car versus Funster, Rob.
And these two were separated by thousandths of a second in qualifying. You expect a good close race here. And I think Darren Fry, well, if Darren Fry beats Russell Mills here, it hands the championship to Stephen Reed. That's the scenario.
This is a massive race. Russell Mills has not missed a final yet this year. He's been in every single final in Pro Alcohol. Second in the championship due to Stephen Reed just winning all those races, getting a lot more bonus points.
Well, Darren Fry in his Dazzers Steel Fabrications Funny Car up against Russell Mills in the Torquay Hotel. We refer to it as a Funster because it's a bit of a cross between a funny car and a dragster. It's a front-engine dragster officially, but you have a look at it from the engine back and it looks like a funny car without the body on, but it's got a lot longer nose on it, and the car has been working so well for Russell all year. As you say, he hasn't missed a final this season.
He hasn't, and Darren Fry's got a big race here. I know he qualified Mills. He has the lane choice. He's gone over in that lane. That seems to be the lane that everyone's picking. Big race. Both cars leave the line. It looks like Russell Mills is in front. He goes across. He gets the win. He goes 5.56 up against a 5.64. Russell Mills keeps that championship hope alive.
Well, Darren Fry also got onto the centre line. Have a look at this on the 400 Thunder replay. Mills straight on down the middle with a hole shot, but Fry on the centre line would have been disqualified anyway and punched a big hole in the front of his car. Russell Mills gets the round 1 win, and that keeps the championship alive, Rusty.
Indeed it does, down here with Rob Harrington from Russell Mills' crew, mate. Championship's still alive, but a lot depends on what happens next.
Yeah, this next run is it's going to be close. These boys both are very consistent, fast racers. We were aiming for a 55, so a 55 with a 1 was bang on where we need to be. We probably want to pick it up if we need to race Steve or someone next round. They're quick cars. So.
This is a really, really tough field, and throwing the championship into the mix, it just adds that extra level of pressure for you guys, but Russell seems to be handling it pretty well.
Yeah, Russell's a very calm, cool, collected guy. Very calm head on him. Very smart tuning decisions with the car, and that just proves it right there. The car went straight down Broadway. It was perfect. I'm so happy with that run, and Darren Fry, they're such a tough team. To beat them is just a feat in itself.
Well, there's a reason, guys, that Russell Mills is still in the championship hunt. That kind of consistency is dangerous on race day.
A lot of drama. Russell, you're still in the championship hunt.
Yes, I am. Well, that was the first hurdle to get over, like a first round win. It depends what Steve does now. Obviously, if he wins this round, well done and good luck to him. So we'll just keep plodding along. Now it's the meeting, I guess.
All right, good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for attending.
Well, if there's one spectator that's going to be watching this next race closer than any other at Willowbank Raceway, it'll be this man, Russell Mills. Because if Luke Marsden in that silver funny car can get the win light, that presents a scenario where Russell Mills needs to go through and win the event to win the championship.
He just needs a little opportunity. Russell Mills here, Luke Marsden looking to be the spoiler. Stephen Reid, 25 years ago, he was an alcohol champion here in Australia. It's a long time between drinks. He wins this round of racing, he regains that championship status.
He's been second many times, including on countback, where he ended equal first in the points and just lost it on the countback. So, to be honest, the All-Star Batteries team, they're probably due for a championship, but nobody's going to give it to him. He's going to have to fight for this. Luke Marsden, the privateer over there in the silver funny car, one of the nicest guys you'll meet. Former Australian champion in the supercharged outlaws class before he stepped up to pro alcohol, and he is going to fight tooth and nail to go into that semi-final, isn't he, Mark?
That he is, and he's got a lot of knowledge behind him as well. Luke Marsden was the crew chief for Benny Bray when he ran an alcohol funny car as well all those years ago.
And they won a championship with that car.
So he's been there, he's done it, he's experienced it as a crew chief. Now as a driver, can he get that round one victory? Looking for his first ever victory in pro alcohol.
There's Toby Rice on his crew, guiding him into that pre-stage area. His front wheels will hit the pre-stage beam, the top light on the Christmas tree will come on. It lets the driver know that he's about 6 inches short of getting his front wheels into the actual start line beam. Once they've both got all lights on the Christmas tree, the revs come up. Comes down to reaction time as well.
Both funny cars out here. Stephen Reid looking to get the win in that championship. He does! He gets there, Rob.
It is a win. That is absolutely fantastic for the whole Reid All-Star Batteries team. Rusty Gregory, Debbie's got to be happy.
Provisionally, that is the championship. Congratulations, Deb. 25 years between drinks for Steve. He's going to have a big smile on his face.
Yeah, that'll make him really happy, and he'll be happy with that run too. So, yeah, hopefully he'll settle down and keep going the rest of the meeting.
It makes all those years where it was a little bit lean, a little bit tough, worth it when you get to come out here and race in front of such a big crowd at your home track and take home the title. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's a great crowd, as it always is at Willowbank. And great track. What else can we say? Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. Of course, that is pending confirmation from all the technical stewards from IHRA, but as far as it stands at the moment, he will be the champion in pro alcohol.
Steve Reid, a long time between drinks. Congratulations, the 400 Thunder Championship.
Oh, wow. That's just fantastic. A lot of people to thank, but probably haven't got time now. We've got to think about the next round. So this is fantastic. 1994 was the last time. There's a few seconds and stuff like that thrown in, but this is great.
You can see it in Steve's eyes, what it actually means to him. 400 Thunder Pro Alcohol Champion, Steve Reid.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that these guys don't value that championship. Unbelievable. Congratulations to Steve and Debbie Reid, the entire Reid family and the All-Star Batteries team. They've got the championship, but Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol at the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals is far from over.
No, it's not over at all. It's all about now who can win this event. It is the Winternationals. This is the event that everyone writes down in their calendar at the start of the year. This is the one they want to win. It's prestigious, getting that gold Christmas tree at the end of the day. That's what these drivers are trying to do right now. Robert Ambrosi, Gary Phillips, he's been there. He has done it before. He's a number 2 qualifier. Ambrosi was number 7.
Well, we've seen number 8 beat number 1, so there's no reason why number 7 can't beat number 2. But Gary Phillips is going to be doing everything he can to achieve a couple of things here. He'll want the win light to move through to the semi-final, and he'll want to run quicker than Steve Reid's very stout 5.50 to see whether he can give himself lane choice and that psychological advantage in the semi-final. Rob Ambrosi, he wants a win light. That's what he wants.
That he does. Gary Phillips on board here, moving into stage, looking to go into the semi-finals.
Look at that packed grandstand watching on.
Debbie Phillips, Gary's wife there, behind the car. Who's going to face Stephen Reid in the semi-finals?
Ambrose's got a huge hole shot. Is it going to be enough?
He's got a 10th on the tree, but Phillips has got the power. He goes 5.44. That's low ET of the event so far. Ambrose with a gallant 5.67 in the lane beside him. That was a great race between the two funny cars.
Oh, Rob Ambrosi couldn't have tried any harder. Grabbed a big advantage off the start line.
He had a 10th on the tree there, Rob. That was massive. He did his job. But Gary Phillips, home track advantage there, runs a 5.44. He goes through the semi-finals. He has lane choice. Wow.
Well, Gary Phillips is down in the braking area. Gerald McDornand's going to catch up with him.
Gary Phillips, congratulations. 5.44 with a 0 low ET of the event so far.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I can talk to you this time. Sorry I had to rush with the Pro Slammer, but it was a pretty good run. It took a little bit out there, but I think we're ready. We've just got a little bit of work to do. Lumen Lighting Innovations, Alpine Fresh Refrigerator Transport, thanks very much for the support. Love you to death.
Second round, you're taking on your longtime friend Steve Reed. He's just wrapped up the championship.
Yeah, I just said to him, congratulations, it's been a long time. Good on you, Rob.
All right, Gary, well done. Back up to you guys.
We've got two great semi-final pairings coming up. Russell Mills up against the giant killer Justin Walsh. And what about that one? Steve Reed, Gary Phillips, lifelong protagonists, and they are so close together in performance. That's going to be a great battle to see who goes through to the final of Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. There's a 400 Thunder Gold Christmas Tree Trophy to be giving away. We're going to show you who wins it right after the break. Welcome back to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. The Gulf Western Oil Winternationals semi-final time coming up in Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol and Mark Allen. They're two great semis.
They are great semi-finals here. You know, as a kid, I raced junior dragsters. Going to bed at night, I dreamed about winning the Winternationals. These drivers on screen, that's what they're looking forward to right now. They want to win that Christmas treat. We are right now down to the business end for the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals, and someone's going to do that right now.
We're about to move into pro alcohol now, guys, and how about this for a matchup? The first pair in this semi-final will be Justin Walsh in the Altered up against Russell Mills in the Funster. When was the last time an Altered won a round of racing in the 400 Thunder Series in pro alcohol? It's an incredible achievement by Justin Walsh. Took out the #1 qualifier in the first round of racing, and that car is looking dangerous here. Definitely a smoky to take out the event.
In all reality, any one of these four drivers in the semi-final has the performance levels on the board to be able to win it. Just takes a little bit of luck for someone like Justin Walsh. He put away #1 qualifier in the first round. There's no reason in the world he couldn't do the same to Russell Mills right here in the semi-final.
No, it really tightened up that first round of racing. We've seen 550s, we've seen a 540 from Phillips. Russell Mills had lane choice. He's taken that lane here across the hillside here at Willowbank. We haven't seen anyone take that so far in eliminations.
Well, you know, I mean, the simple fact is that when you have a look at Justin Walsh, he was pretty sharp on the lights in the first round of racing. That helped him get that win over John Sting. Can he lay a whole shot here? Russell Mills has been consistent across the season. As you said, he hasn't missed a final this year. He wouldn't want to miss the Winternationals.
That's the one, you know. If you can't win the championship right now, winning the Winternationals, you know, it's a good second best.
Well, he will finish the championship in the #2 position. That is beyond question. And we heard Rusty Gregory before ask about when the last time you saw an Altered win pro alcohol. Well, earlier in the year, we were asking when was the last time you saw a front engine dragster win anything in the professional categories of drag racing. Russell Mills has been able to do it. So, both of these guys are travelling the path less trod. They've gone a different way about how they're attacking pro alcohol. They're both now fighting for a spot in the final, Mark.
That they are, we could see one of the quickest Alterds in Australia take on one of the quickest front engine dragsters in Australia here. Semi-final time. Pro alcohol, Russell Mills gets out here. It looks like the dragster is going to take him, and he does. He goes through to the final, runs a 5.52. He improves again, but Justin Walsh, 5.69 that Altered. That was a quick pass as well.
Well, you've got to give it to Justin Walsh. He really did take it as far and as hard as he could in that car, and I think he'll be a real threat in the coming season. Have a look at the way the Altered launched off the line. The difference was Russell Mills got a bit of a hole shot here. He was better reacting on the start line, and he never looked back, did he?
He didn't, and that 5.52 from Russell Mills, that's one of his quickest passes we've seen this year. So, you know, these guys are really finding some form here in the semi-finals. They go through to the final. 5.52. Is it enough to get lane choice? We'll find out soon afterwards. But Rusty on the start line again with Rob Harrington.
Yeah, guys, down here with Rob Harrington from Russell Mills' crew. 5.52, you guys are into the final, and it could be 1 and 2 in the championship, taking on each other in that one.
We hope so. A big congratulations for Steve for winning the championship. That team has been bridesmaids for years, so the man he's racing now. So I hope we can race Steve. It'd just be good to get a little bit on him. It was a bit bittersweet to lose in first round, but hey, hopefully we'll see what happens this run.
Mate, best of luck for the final.
Yeah, mate, we'll see.
Russell, yet another final coming up, 5.52. Congratulations.
That's a great run. That's my best ever is 5.52. So that's pleasing to know it just went that little bit better. And yeah, that's great being another final.
It's incredible season so far. Every round you have been in the final.
Yeah, I just wish the driver had done a better job a couple of times, and the point score might be a little different.
Well, you got the opportunity to change that this time around.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for all the support again.
That's Russell Mills through to the final of Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. Will he face the new champion, Steve Reed, in the All-Star Batteries funny car, or will it be the 20-time champ, Gary Phillips?
Interesting. Gary Phillips has not won an event this season yet in Pro Alcohol. When was the last time you could say that, Rob?
I couldn't. Quite honestly, he's been a 20-time champion, and over the last 20 plus years, I cannot remember him going a season without winning at least one round of a championship. This is the last one for the championship. He has to do this race and the final if he's going to keep that streak alive. But what about Stephen Reed? I mean, he has been the form guy all year. It'll be great to see the All-Star Batteries team trying to get 2 gold Christmas trees at the one weekend.
Yeah, well, Stephen Reed's got 3 event victories this season in this funny car, looking to make it 4 with the championship. Gary Phillips looking to stop him here. Oh, no!
That car was dragging or something. Stephen Reed has gone with a huge red light. It is all over. No 2 gold Christmas trees for the Reeds this time. But what about Phillips? He's going to the final in Pro Slammer and in Pro Alcohol.
He is going to be busy, Debbie. Not the way you wanted to finish off the Winter Nationals, but little consolation, you got the big trophy.
Yeah, I suppose that's the main thing, but he'll be so disappointed about that because he really wanted to do well here this weekend. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Hopefully he'll learn something from that, and we'll go on from there.
You've driven these cars. Tell everybody who's watching up in the stands and sitting at home just how hard it is to stage these cars when you're on the clutch, you've got the revs up, and the thing is trying to fight you and drag you through those beams.
Yeah, it is pretty hard. It's hard to describe what it's like, but yeah, once it goes, you can't stop it.
Well, the disappointment is in regards to the event, but certainly not the championship. Steve Reed, your new champion in Pro Alcohol.
Gary Phillips, that was a strange one. Red light for Steve Reed. You're into 2 final rounds.
Yeah, I am. I actually saw him leave early, and it started to rattle, and I went, I crossed the centre line, hitting the whatever, and it was, after the excellent deal. Sorry I couldn't talk to you about the door slammer, Lumen Innovative Lighting, Alpine Refrigerated Transport, Mitch, everyone. Thank you very much.
Well, we had 12 cars in qualifying, 8 faced the starter. Now we're down to 2. Russell Mills and Gary Phillips. They will be your finalists in Pro Alcohol. The sun has set here at Willowbank Raceway. We are ready for the final of Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol. The air is cool. The track has still got an amazing amount of traction. I think record performances are possible here, but will Gary Phillips try and set the world alight, or will he just try and pick up yet another win? Let's have a look at the road to the finals for both of these guys. Russell Mills faced Darren Fry in the first round, and we expected this to be a tough race, and it was, Mark.
Yeah, these guys were only separated by thousandths of a second in qualifying. Darren Fry was the quicker of the two. He was number 4 qualifier. Mills was number 5. That didn't matter. Mills got the whole shot there. He took the front engine Dragsters through for a win there. A great pass from the team with a 5.55 there. He went through to the semi-finals and gained lane choice with that 5.55 as well.
Yeah, Fry had problems with a funny car, just trying to keep it in his lane. You see it drifting over, bang! Punches the foam block. But when you do that at sort of 400 kilometres an hour, it does a lot of damage to the bodywork. That carbon fibre just got a new air vent.
Yeah, semi-final matchup. Justin Walsh's time up against Russell Mills. Mills with the lane choice. He stayed in the lane that he had in round 1. He got out, got the whole shot, took the front engine drags through one of his quickest passes there with a 5.52 for the win. That was good enough to put him into the final.
2 whole shots from 2 races. Can he keep it up for the final? We're going to find out pretty shortly. Gary Phillips, meanwhile, he began in round 1, had to face Rob Ambrosi. The funny cars doing battle. Ambrosi got the whole shot. Ambrosi got the lead, but the might and muscle of that Phillips car just had too much horsepower, ran around him and got the win with a 5.44.
Yeah, that was low ET of the event, and it still is going into the final at 5.44. The semi-final matchup. Our new champion, Stephen Reid, this time in the lane beside Gary Phillips.
It goes the car into stage and it just wouldn't hold on the brakes. You could see it creeping there. And in the end he went, well, I'll nail the throttle and hope the starter has thrown the switch. No such luck, Steve. So it was Gary Phillips. Got some tyre shake, he said. He got out of it because if he'd touched the centre line or the wall, he would have been disqualified and the win would have gone back to Stephen Reid.
You don't want to take any chances.
Very smart thinking by Gary Phillips has put him into the final up against Russell Mills. Here we go. Gary Phillips hasn't won an event this season, as you pointed out, Mark. This is his opportunity to keep that 20-plus year streak alive.
That it is. Gary Phillips in the funny car to the right of screen, taking on Russell Mills. He will finish second in the championship. The winner here, looking for the glory that is the Winternationals win.
Yeah, championship run and done. Steve Reid has that. Russell Mills will have to settle for second, but he won't want to settle for runner-up at the event. Gary Phillips in the car, waving around a fair bit. His crew were having a look. He's still not happy about something. Not sure what that's about, Mark, but Gary Phillips very animated in the funny car.
You can see the hands, you know, and something like that inside the car, you can get flustered, you know, and it can affect your staging routine. So Gary Phillips right now, he's got to calm down, collect the nerves. You know, he's been there, he's done that before, but he's still, and you can see the hands, still not happy.
We can't see anything wrong from our commentary position, and our camera shots aren't really showing it. We see there Steve Harker, he's crewing, and now Shane's gone in to have a look. Got a thumbs up.
Yeah, Shane's happy, he's got a thumbs up.
I thought Steve was asking whether he wanted it shut down for a moment there.
I'd take Shane's signal over Steve Harker's.
Look at that. He is going through each of those lines, so Gary could see something from the car that no one else could. And almost telepathy to his son Shane. Shane's got it sorted out, and he's going into stage up against this man, Russell Mills. And how good was Russell? He was waiting quite a while there. He could have gone into pre-stage.
He could have, Russell Mills, but he's the nice guy. Pro alcohol here. This is the final. Gary Phillips, low ET of the event so far with a 5.44. Russell Mills in the semi-finals with 5.52.
Well, Mills has had the whole shot in the first round, in the semi-final. Is he going to lay one on Gary Phillips here? No, it'll be Phillips gets out first.
And Phillips with the whole shot. It looks like he's got the power as well. Gary Phillips is your Winternationals winner here. 5:45. Russell Mills goes 5:59. 408 kilometres per hour. How about that, Rob?
What a great drag race for the final of Queensland Rock Breakers Pro Alcohol. There it is. You see the jump. A little bit of a hole shot there for Gary Phillips on the far side. And Russell Mills just couldn't close it up. After all of the dramas on the start line, Shane Phillips on the start line has to be happy.
It's an incredible run for Gary Phillips, and Shane made 2 finals tonight, nothing to sneeze at, and 1 win from 2, not a bad record.
It's been a great day. First of all, thank you so much to our crew, because without them this would not happen. It's an absolute hectic day. 2 cars, and it's run as good as we did. Pretty cool. Thank you to the sponsors for supporting us. 2 finals out of 3 events with the door slammer, 2 finals out of 3 events with the funny car. We've had a pretty good run, so to come away with the winner and runner-up at the biggest race of the year is pretty cool, and that's 14 Winternationals. So I'm hoping we can find another major sponsor to get us back out here full time, but we'll see how we go.
Gary Phillips, 2 finals, a fantastic weekend. I don't know where you're going to put this. You put the coffee cups on them, the toilet papers on them. You've got that many at home. I don't know what you do with them, but well deserved, mate. Everyone's treasured and cherished, I'm sure.
Oh, it is, mate. Like, there's no such thing as a bad win. You know, Russell, it was a great final, and the shift light thing, something happened on the start line. But anyhow, it was good. I think it went 45. It still was a pretty good run, but, you know, all my crew, Alpine Refrigerated Transport, Lumen Lights, I mean, it's just Speed Flow, all these people here that helped me on the car. I mean, it's just 2 cars in the final that, as tough as this is, boy, we're happy. I'm telling you, absolutely fantastic. Hey, come here, you mob, quick, get in there. You know, without these guys, you know, we got the other crew up there and all that sort of stuff. But they, you know, this is all what it's worth. Without Shane and Bev, you know, just it wouldn't even be possible.
What an incredible record for Gary Phillips in his 40th Winternationals out of the 51 we've held. But the championship belongs to Stephen Reed. From Russell Mills, Gary Phillips, Rob Ambrosi and Wayne Price, our top 5. Well, Pro Alcohol has had an amazing season. Steve Reed is the man that's come out on top. Very, very deserving champion. And he's going to start the defence of his title at the opening round of the new season at Sydney's East Coast Thunder in November. And I'm sure that man Russell Mills is going to be there with him doing battle. Gary Phillips is going to be back. A huge field in Pro Alcohol. We can't wait.
Coming up after the break, we head over to Spain for the opening round of the 2018 FIM Trial GP World Championship.